Have you ever noticed how people say, you should forgive, with the same confidence they say, just wake up early and your life will be fixed? Like, wow, revolutionary advice. Why didn't I think of that? Because let's be honest, forgiveness doesn't feel hard. It feels impossible, like trying to unsee a spoiler, like trusting a charger that only works at a certain angle. Once it's broken, your heart remembers. So why does forgiveness feel like climbing a mountain barefoot? First, because pain is loud. Real pain doesn't whisper and politely leave. It sits there. It reminds you of what happened at the worst possible times, while you're trying to focus, while you're laughing, while you're just minding your business, and suddenly your brain goes, hey, remember that one thing? Great. Thanks, brain. When someone hurts you deeply, betrays you, disrespects you, lies to your face, or makes you feel small, your mind turns that moment into a warning sign. It's not trying to be negative. It's trying to protect you. Forgiveness feels impossible because your brain thinks forgiving equals danger. Your mind says, last time you trusted, you got hate. Why would we do that again? And honestly, fair question. Then there's ego, the part of us that says, if I forgive, doesn't that mean they get away with it? It feels like letting someone cut in line and then saying, no worries. No, worries were very much present. Forgiving feels like surrender, like saying, it's okay, when it definitely was not okay. And no one wants to feel weak. We want justice. We want acknowledgement. We want that perfect apology, the one where they fully understand, take responsibility, feel bad, and maybe even say, you didn't deserve that. But life doesn't always give us that moment. Sometimes a person never apologizes. Sometimes they move on like nothing happened. Sometimes they don't even realize they hurt you. And that's when forgiveness feels like the biggest joke of all. Because now you're left holding all the pain while they're out there living peacefully, posting selfies, smiling, eating good food, existing happily. Unfair doesn't even begin to cover it. Another reason forgiveness feels impossible is because anger feels powerful. Hurt feels vulnerable. Anger feels strong. It gives you control. It makes you feel like you're standing up for yourself. But here's the trap. Anger is heavy. It follows you everywhere. You replay conversations in your head while brushing your teeth. You imagine different endings while staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. You suddenly remember something they said 3 years ago and think, wow, I should have responded better. Meanwhile, they are probably asleep. Deep sleep. Zero stress. And that's when you realize holding on to anger isn't punishing them. It's exhausting you. Now here's a part people don't explain properly. Forgiveness is not saying what happened was okay. It's not forgetting. It's not trusting them again. It's not giving them access to you. Forgiveness is simply saying, I don't want this pain to control my life anymore. And that takes time. Real forgiveness isn't a switch you flip. It's a process. Some days you'll feel calm and think, yeah, I'm over it. And then one random thing happens. A song, a place, a message, and boom, the feelings come back. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. Sometimes forgiveness starts with honesty, admitting, this hurt me more than I want to admit. Sometimes it starts with distance. Sometimes it starts with boundaries. And sometimes it starts with choosing yourself over revenge. Because here's the truth, peace feels better than being right. One day, you don't suddenly forgive in a dramatic movie-style moment. You just notice the memory doesn't hurt as much. You don't feel the need to prove anything. You don't feel angry all the time. You feel lighter. And that's when you realize forgiveness didn't free them. It freed you. So if forgiveness feels impossible right now, that's okay. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're healing. And healing doesn't rush. It happens quietly, slowly, on its own time. And when forgiveness finally arrives, it won't feel like losing. It'll feel like peace. Have you ever heard someone say, just forgive and move on, and thought, wow, thanks. Let me just delete my emotional trauma like an old photo on my phone? Yeah, same. Let's be honest. Forgiveness sounds nice in theory, peaceful, mature, very I drink green smoothies energy. But in real life, forgiveness often feels impossible. like trying to hug a cactus and expecting it not to hurt. So why is forgiving someone so hard? First, let's talk about pain. Real pain doesn't come with an off switch. When someone hurts you, lies to you, betrays you, disrespects you, or breaks your trust, your brain remembers it like a bad Wi-Fi password. You don't want to remember it, but every time you try again, boom, error. Your mind is basically saying, hey, remember what happened last time? Yeah, let's not do that again. Forgiveness feels impossible because your brain thinks it's protecting you. It's not being dramatic. It's being a bodyguard, just a very emotional one. And then there's ego. Ah, yes, our old friend. Forgiving can feel like losing, like you're letting the other person win. Your inner voice says, wait, they hurt me and now I'm supposed to be the bigger person? So what do I get? A certificate? A cookie? Exactly. We're scared that forgiving means saying what happened was okay. But here's the truth. Forgiveness is not approval. It's not pretending it didn't hurt. It's not inviting them back into your life like nothing happened. It's just deciding not to carry the anger like a heavy backpack everywhere you go. Because let's be real, anger is exhausting. You replay the situation in your head while brushing your teeth, while showering, while lying in bed at 2 a.m. suddenly remembering a comeback you should have said 3 years ago. Meanwhile, the other person, probably sleeping peacefully, snoring, living their best life. Unfair, right? Another reason forgiveness feels impossible is because we want justice. We want the other person to feel the same pain we felt. We want them to understand, to apologize perfectly, with tears, and a meaningful speech, maybe background music. But life doesn't always give us closure. Sometimes the apology never comes. Sometimes a person doesn't even think they did anything wrong. And that hurts even more. Here's the uncomfortable part. Forgiveness often has nothing to do with the other person. It's about you. And that's annoying, because it would be way easier if they just fixed everything. But think about it like this. Holding onto anger is like drinking poison and hoping the other person gets sick. It doesn't work. It just gives you a stomachache and ruins your mood. Now, let me be clear. Forgiveness is not a race. You don't get bonus points for forgiving fast. Some wounds need time. Some need space. Some need therapy. And some need a very honest conversation with yourself where you admit, yeah, that really hurt. And that's okay. Forgiveness isn't about forcing yourself to feel something you're not ready for. It's about slowly choosing peace over pain, little by little. Some days you'll feel calm. Other days you'll remember everything and feel angry again. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. And maybe forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. Maybe it means remembering without bleeding. So if forgiveness feels impossible right now, you're not broken. You're not weak. You're just healing. And healing? Yeah, that takes time. But one day, you'll wake up and realize the memory doesn't control you anymore. It's just a story from your past, not a chain around your present. And that's when forgiveness quietly shows up. Not as a big dramatic moment, but as peace. And honestly, peace is worth it.